Hello, everybody. Ella J here on behalf of a wrestling gal. And today I am joined by now a 10-year veteran in the professional wrestling business, Sierra. How are you today? So good to have you back.
I'm doing good. I know. I'm so happy to be here. It's
I
exciting.
know it's been a little bit since the last time we talked. We talked at the beginning of 2024. Now we are on the tail end of
Mhm.
2025. But like I said, not too long ago,
Ooh,
you celebrated your 10-year wrestling anniversary. So first of all, congratulations. That is a big milestone.
yay. Thank you.
You had the unique journey
Thank
of
you.
starting a lot younger than most people, starting at the age of 15. And now here you
Mhm.
are, over 200,000 miles driven later, almost 800 matches. Your dad kept track of everything from what I
Mhm.
have seen, and you had all the numbers made
Yes.
into a graphic. So I,
Yes.
I have to ask, like, how did your dad keep track of everything? Did he keep it all in a notebook, or how was he so thorough in his numbers?
He has a Google Excel sheet that has everything. It's on a USB drive, and he'll take it to work Monday morning, and he'll plug it in his computer at work, and I'll get the like update me on your stats from the weekend text, Monday or during the weekend, and uh, he'll fill in like date, promotion, uh, the town, the state, how far it was from my house. So he's like keeping track of like the miles and stuff, and then my opponent, and if I was babyface, heel, like he's like everything, and he's kept track of this for 10 years.
That is one proud and dedicated dad. Thank God for Google Excel because here I was thinking like it was on paper. I don't know why I didn't think of like Google
Oh
Sheets or
yeah,
whatever. Like that makes it so much easier.
yeah, yeah. No, it's nice when like I'll ask him like, hey, how many dudes have I wrestled and from 2015 to 2022, and he's able to like
Yeah.
however Excel or Sheets works, like he's able to just like get like numbers and all that stuff, and it's so much easier.
Yeah, speaking of numbers, I feel like especially in today's landscape, yes, like wrestling is male dominated, but I feel like most of the time for female competitors, you're paired with other female competitors. But in your case, I
Mhm.
think you've wrestled like 30 more men, at least as of your
Yeah,
10-year anniversary, 30 more
yeah,
men than you have women, which I think is
yes,
probably a rarity.
yeah,
You trained with a lot of guys. Obviously, you're no stranger
yeah.
to intergender wrestling. How has that dynamic been for you? Because, like I said, it's kind of I feel like a rarity as a woman to wrestle more guys
Mhm.
professionally, than other
Yeah.
females.
I think I'd say the majority of it, I haven't looked specifically at names, but I think the majority of it comes in my first few years. I didn't wrestle. I guess I was probably almost like a year in until I wrestled somebody other than Stacy Shadows.
Yes.
And I wrestled like a different gal for the first time, but then I was still always, I think like my first like 2 or 3 years, I was in that like local scene, and wrestling all the guys that I trained with or have been on the show. A lot of the little promotions that I'd go to in Milwaukee, it was just all of the guys, so I'd wrestle them. I think a lot of that came from there, and then the more I've gotten to do more intergender matches, here and
Yeah.
there, I think that's collected on as well.
Yeah, I think that's awesome though, because like I said, it's male dominated, but most of the time, and I know this is kind of we all kind of groan about it, that sometimes there'll be one female on the card and the other female pulled, so then you just won't have a match. But like you have said,
Yeah,
like 99% of you gals are totally cool with, intergender
yeah,
wrestling, and some promoters
yeah.
just still have like an old fashioned mindset and all of that,
Oh,
which is it's just a whole other thing.
don't get me going. That's that's a rant, but no, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 years in, congratulations again. You've had 21 championships. You're no stranger to gold. But what
Mhm.
would you say is the proudest moment of your career thus far? You've had a lot of championship wins, a lot of cool opponents, traveled some cool places. What would you say is your most proudest or fond memory so far?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I can't put a specific moment into like what I'm most proud of when I like first think of that. I think the whole I don't know. I feel like it's just the fact that, I've gotten 10 years in and
Yeah.
I've gotten to do the things that I've done, and I've done way more than what, 15-year-old Sarah thought would ever come of this. So I think just the fact that I've gotten to, wrestle certain places, certain companies against, certain people. And I think I think that's what I'm most proud of, is like what I've built and like who I've become as Sierra and as Sarah.
Yeah. Who do you, I mean, not to get, I guess, philosophical, but who have you
Mhm.
become as both Sierra and Sarah? How would you describe yourself now?
I I'd say they definitely like I grew up, you know, legitimately, and I think Sierra really grew up too. I like over, starting 15, I was super quiet, shy, naive, was just a child. And these 10 years I guess gone through like so much good, bad, ugly, the positives, the greats. Like I think I've like grown up in real life age and life too into like a young woman, but like Sierra's also like grown up too, and I definitely a lot stronger physically, mentally, emotionally, more secure and confident, all those good things I feel I've grown into over these years because of wrestling.
Absolutely. You've definitely had some cool full circle moments. I think it's ironic
Mhm.
that you're wearing a Chicago style wrestling jacket because I know a few years ago, I think it was 2021, you were
Mhm.
backstage at AEW. There's a photo
Uh,
of you and a Chicago native, CM Punk.
oh
Meanwhile,
yeah.
9 years earlier before that, you sported a CM Punk shirt while attending a
Oh my
live event.
God.
So tell us more about this. Also, at the time of recording this, WWE is in Chicago today, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Tell us more about this full circle moment with CM Punk and your experience meeting him.
I think it was my second time doing like extra work with AEW, and they were in
Yeah.
Milwaukee. And it was the I'm trying to like timeline wise, it was the
It
week
was
they were
August
in Chicago.
21. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
he came
wrestled
back in
Bunny in
Chicago.
Chicago, and then
Yeah.
the week after, I think they were in Milwaukee. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So he was there, and it was like the end of the night, and he was kind of like saying hi to people, and some people were getting pictures with him, and I was like, I think like, oh, that's so neat. Like maybe I don't want to bother. Like I do kind of want a picture with him, but I'm not going to bother. And
Yeah.
it was I was with Missa, Kate, and Joey Avalon, and we were like kind of just waiting to leave. And I was like, no, guys, let's just go home. Like, I don't want to bother. And they're like, no, you're going to get your picture. And I was like, no, please, no. Like, I don't need one. I don't want to embarrass myself. They're like, no. And he came like walking by, and they like shoved me over. And I was like, hi, can I get a picture with you? And he's like, oh yeah, of course. And he was really cool about it. And I, introduced myself and said thank you for, the picture. And that was literally it. And I thought that was just so cool, because then I did it was after that picture that I remembered that I had, the picture of me and all my like little CM Punk stuff. And then it like really dawned on me, and I was like, dang, like going from being at the events and getting, the little merchandise and like watching the ring and being like, oh, that'd be so cool to do one day. And then like I'm, backstage with him, it's really neat, and really gets me emotional sometimes when you like think about that.
Yeah, you shared a locker room with one of your, I have to
Yeah.
imagine, childhood favorites. I mean, you had his merch. Were you a big
Yeah.
CM Punk fan growing up?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was. I was. I had all of it. My parents just, I think it was like the other week, they brought up all of the bins of all the action figures and like little merchandise I've collected before I even started wrestling. And
Yeah.
there was so much CM Punk stuff. There was a lot of stuff with the Shield, random like collecting like Natalia action figures or AJ Lee or like there's just so much stuff in there.
Well, I must say, since you brought her up, again, at the time of recording this, it is Friday during SmackDown. I'm sure you've seen the reports circulating that AJ
I
Lee is
know.
supposed to be, oh, maybe you don't. Oh, you do or you don't? I don't know. AJ Lee is
I do know. I've
supposedly
heard.
coming back to WWE to team with CM Punk
Hmm.
against you mentioned the Shield, Seth Rollins and
Yeah.
Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
So I mean, as a long time, Shield girly and CM Punk and AJ Lee, what are your thoughts on her returning to the ring? It's been a long time coming, I feel
No,
like.
oh my God, that I think that would be so cool. I don't know, just the little fan in me, like thinks that would just be like really just neat to see, and like I hope it does. I hope it does happen. That would just be so cool.
At the time of recording this, we don't know yet for sure. By the time this comes out, it'll probably be confirmed.
Yeah.
But CM Punk too, like he was also one for a while that like we thought he was never going to come back. He left in
Mhm.
2014, was like, I'm done. Then he came back
Mhm.
in 2021, AEW. Now he's back in WWE.
Mhm.
How was it for you when I mean, it was a shock to a lot of us when he came back. Do you recall your
Yeah.
initial reaction when he came back to professional wrestling?
No, I was at the it was my first AEW extra work time, and I think it was at the United Center, yeah, and I was
Oh,
back
yeah. So
there.
you were there.
Yeah, and all the way like they were do for some reason that day they had like 20 plus dark matches. And so everybody was all like our group was just all in gear, like waiting around, like, we did our matches, everybody's going out, coming back, doing their thing, and um all of a sudden, like we're just standing there, and I think I was next to like GPA, and he kind of like nudges me, and he like it's like look over, and I look over, and it's just CM Punk standing there like watching some of the matches, and it's like what the heck is happening? And so then we get through the matches, and we get dressed, and they kind of tell us to stay in this one area, and like don't go out in the crowd to like watch the show, but like
Yeah, yeah.
me and GPA, we kind of like wandered off to go like be in one of those like little entrance areas like by the stage, just to like watch and be kind of like out in the crowd to experience that. And that was so cool. Like that was just the energy and like the aura of the arena was just, it was crazy. It was really fun.
Talk about full circle. Can't believe you were there for his
I
official
know.
comeback. That's
Yeah.
really full circle, my friend. Getting to experience
Yeah.
that live and you've traveled all across the US. I think you're up to 16 states, at least as of July.
Yeah.
Maybe you've crossed off more. What are some other states or places that you're eager to cross off, say in these next few years?
Oh my gosh. I would love to just go anywhere. I haven't been, no. I mean, I've been to Texas. I'd love to visit Texas again. But no, I'd love to get to like Nevada or California. They got some cool places down there. Love to go check out on the East Coast. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've looped the Midwest so
Yeah,
much that
yeah,
I'm like, someone, somewhere take me. I want to go somewhere else.
yeah.
But no,
I feel
anywhere.
like
I'm game for
you're
anywhere.
situated, I feel like pretty much like I mean it's north, but you're pretty much like in the middle of like a lot of like Texas would just be like a straight shot down, I think. So you're
Hmm.
like in the middle of a lot. It's just going I
Yeah.
think you've wrestled once in New York for Create a Pro. But we do
Yes.
need to get you more here on the East Coast, my friend. Like I would love to see you
Oh,
wrestle live.
I know. I know. I really would love to too. Oh, well, maybe one day.
One day. But you're almost to 800 matches now. Then there's 900. Then there's 1,000. I'm sure you've thought about it, maybe, maybe not. What would be your dream setting an opponent for maybe match 1,000? Because that's a big
Oh
milestone.
my
Like if
God.
you were booking it, who would it be and where would be your dream setting?
Oh, I I don't know what my I really wouldn't know what my dream setting would be for that. But like I knowing my I guess luck and my history with when there have been like bigger milestones in my wrestling career, my 1000th match is going to be somewhere probably ridiculous. I'm probably going to be at like some fair show at some like county fair in front of like five people in like 90-degree weather, like wrestling somebody, and like that's gonna be my 1000th match, and because it's just like I've had certain milestones where it's just been like weird or funny situations, and I'm like, of
Yeah.
course, this is, but no, I really don't know what I would have for like a dream situation, but like if I know me, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be something funny and weird.
Yeah. I think number 600 was Brittany Brooks. I don't know who number 700
Yes.
was. I don't know if you know offhand.
No, no, I
Okay.
have all my papers. I would
Yeah.
print
Yeah.
everything off. No, I don't remember. Huh.
It's been a hot minute since that time anyway. That's in the
Yeah.
past. We're looking ahead now. You have a couple of exciting matches coming up. You'll be returning to Midwest All-Star against Rachael Ellering on September 12th. I believe your first encounter against her was also at MAW.
Hmm. Yes.
Another veteran in the business. What are your thoughts and excitement level heading into this one?
Oh, I'm so excited. I love Rachel. I think I just got along with her so well, and I like love her energy and her personality, and she's just like a great positive person to be around, and she was super fun to wrestle with. So I'm really excited. I'm excited to get to like wrestle her again. Like we've only wrestled one time, but I already feel like so comfortable with her and stuff, and so I'm excited. It'll be good.
I'm curious too, as a veteran in the in-ring circle now, I'm sure you've wrestled a lot of
Hmm.
people who are greener than you, who have less experience than you. How do you approach
Hmm.
those scenarios and those matches where you're kind of the veteran and maybe you're got leaned on to maybe
Hmm.
lead the match a little bit? How do you approach those matches where like you're clearly the in-ring veteran?
I I've done, I've given so many girls their first, second, third, however
Yeah.
many like matches, and um, definitely now I always say like whatever you're comfortable with, like whatever you want to do, whatever you are comfortable and confident in, like we will do. Um, in those moments, I don't care what I do. I don't care what I get in. I would just rather, my opponent who's, maybe this is like their third match. I want them to be comfortable and confident. And I've had this talk with Avalon a few times of how I really enjoy and feel it's like my kind of my purpose now in wrestling to be to because I'm still wrestling so many like new girls. I
Yeah.
wrestled Cameron. Her name was Cameron. Oh God, I don't remember her last name. And I was in Indiana, and I gave her her eighth match, and how I just want to give these newer girls like a match that they feel super confident and good in. And, maybe they do a little more. Maybe it pushes them out of their comfort zone. I want them to feel like safe and secure and comfortable in there, and give them, a little like boost of like, hey, you got this, and like it's okay. And I really enjoy getting to work with these newer girls because you can see like their nerves and stuff, and like maybe we'll talk something and they're like, oh, okay, and I'm like, no, you got it. And I was like, we don't have to do it at all. We can add more, we could take away, we could do whatever like you want. And i like I like when things, if it goes well, like that's great, and I feel like proud of what I've done, and I feel like I've helped them in some way.
Absolutely. I feel like too in a business that's you're inherently selfish, it's really refreshing to hear a
Hmm.
veteran who's not only like willing to giving back, but like has a kind approach to it. Maybe sometimes you need a
Hmm.
little bit of tough love, but I feel like especially so early on
Yeah.
that it's probably really more helpful and beneficial to kind of have like a
Yes.
gentler approach to and being open
Yeah.
to because that's also the beauty.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to make mistakes, but you have that kind of
Hmm.
creative freedom to make those mistakes and experiment with stuff
Yep.
on the indies, which is always
Yeah.
a good opportunity to have and have that space to have.
Yes.
So I'm so glad to hear that you're kind of giving back. You're
Yeah.
also focusing on yourself as well. You know, you're always continuing
Yeah.
to thrive,
Yeah.
aiming to strive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming up, you will also be making your Glory Pro debut in St.
Oh,
Louis against
yeah.
Tootie Lynn. You're no
Yes.
stranger to Tootie Lynn, obviously, but for those fans of Glory Pro that are maybe seeing you for the first time, what can they expect to see from you?
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I feel like I've been trying to get down to Glory Pro for years. I'd say in the last like I think I've tried getting booked like for 5 years. Um, but it worked out and getting the licensing and stuff for the state and all that stuff. And no, I'm excited. I feel um maybe maybe this isn't maybe I'm overthinking it, but like I feel that some of the fans there would maybe recognize me, maybe not, but I definitely feel like I bring a little bit more of like an edge and toughness, um, to the division and stuff. But I don't know. I've worked with all the girls that are down there already, and I'm just excited to get to a new place and reach new fans and faces and all that stuff, and uh, check another state off and all that good stuff.
Now, appearance wise, you're pretty much been blonde your whole career, but I looked on
Mhm.
your Instagram. I don't know if they were recent,
God.
but you were brune. Did you briefly dye your hair brown and then you dyed it
Yes.
back to blonde? Okay. Okay,
Yes.
so it wasn't like old pictures or anything. I was like, was she
No. No.
briefly brunette?
Yes.
What brought about the change in hair color and what prompted you to switch back then ultimately?
Oh, I I know, ridiculous. The platinum, oh, I loved the platinum and the silver hair. Like it was just so damaging. And I was, losing more hair than what I was able like keeping up
Yeah.
with it and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, like my roots were really outgrown. And I was like, I feel it. I don't want to dye it. I don't want to just put bleach on it again. And I was like, I'll just try something else. Like maybe we go back to like my natural, or maybe we go a little darker. And when I was working at Joanne Fabrics when I was finishing up school,
Yeah.
one of my coworkers, she's also a hairstylist, she does hair and stuff, and so I asked her if she could do my hair, and she has a salon chair and stuff, and we went. We went a little bit darker, but still like a dirty blonde. And I was like, I was like, I've never been brunette before. And I was like, screw it. So we went like full brunette and I was like all into it for a minute. And then uh, some people said it just made me look too plain. Like it was good for Sarah, it wasn't good for Sierra. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, like it kind of like washed me out a little bit, like my skin tone, and like I liked it, but like with wrestling, it just didn't like feel like me. Um, and then so I had to go back to her and be like, Lori, I kind of want to go back to
Actually,
blonde. And she's like, oh my God, Sarah. But no, we're slowly getting back. Got a little more blonde going on. I don't think I'll ever go back to the platinum for at least a long while. Let my
yeah.
hair get really healthy again and then maybe do it. But oh, I loved that silver hair. I could keep it forever if it wasn't so damaging.
Oh yeah, you had it for a long time too. Are you naturally blonde?
Like yeah, like a dirty blonde. Whatever's up in the
Okay.
roots is
Got
like
it.
it's a darker blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was how long do you I don't know how long it was very brief. How long were you a brunette if you remember?
probably like 2 months.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah. I think I like slowly, I had like a month or two where I was like a really dark, dirty blonde. And then I had like 2-ish months,
Hmm.
I'd say, where I was like just straight brunette. And then, nope, we're done.
You know what? We all go through those phases. I had
I
phases where I would
know.
dye my hair like black, I had like red hair. It
Oh,
was a whole thing, girl. Like I
yeah.
totally understand it. The blonde really suits you though.
Yes,
Um,
I know.
we definitely want healthy hair though. So maybe it's a good, you're still blonde, just not platinum. Let your hair, regrow, strengthen itself.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe, so never say never though to the
yes.
platinum blonde hair,
Oh my
right?
God. Yes. No, I love it so much. I would take it back in a heartbeat.
But it'll come back. Nothing's ever truly retired in professional wrestling. If
Oh,
there's
yeah.
anything I've
No,
learned, um,
yeah, no kidding.
But I will say, you mentioned obviously you were working towards your degree. You finally graduated last year. You said
Mhm.
you were in college for like 7 years.
Yeah.
I think you got your medical lab tech degree
Yes.
is what it
Yes.
was. How did it
Correct.
feel finally walking that stage and getting that diploma, my friend?
Oh, I think I cried the entire
I
ceremony
believe it.
because I was just so happy. I was like, oh my God, I did not think I would get here. I thought I'd be in school forever. No, that was relief. That's something I was very, very proud of, and I'm very like proud of the job I have now. Very happy where I'm at. Um, it's nice. I've always said I like having, wrestling life in real life, and it's given me, I have my real life a good stable job with a nice income and good insurance, thank God. So I get like the best of both worlds. I'm very content and happy in my life. No, I'm very proud of that, and I'm glad it's done, and I don't have to study or do exams anymore.
She's free.
I know, oh my God. The relief.
Now, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but obviously you went to school for like medical stuff. I think
Mhm.
nursing we talked about some at some
Yeah,
point as well.
yeah.
And then obviously wrestling. But if you think back to like Little Sierra, was either of those what you envisioned the older version of yourself doing, or what did Little Sierra envision herself doing for a living?
I knew at 15, like I wanted to go to college, and I wanted
Yeah,
you know, a degree and stuff. And even when I was like training, my trainers are like, no, go finish up school, go to college. Like
yeah,
you need like your backup plan if something happens with wrestling. Like you need that. And they were all
of
very
course.
like they were supportive, and they were like, no. And I was like, nope, that's the plan. Um, I I guess I did really think that I would get into nursing. I'm glad that I didn't because now, seeing a nursing schedule, I know wrestling wouldn't have fit
Yeah,
in at all. So I'm glad that even though, it took 7 years, that I was able to find a career that, I really enjoyed, and a job that is super nice and flexible with me and my wrestling, and that it all just like worked out in the end. Like, in the middle of those 7 years where I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to be in school forever. I'm not going to find something that I like doing, or I'm not going to find something at all, or, this isn't going to work with wrestling, and like, da 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 da. Like, sitting here now and then like looking back at those times, I'm like, oh, I wish I could just go back and be like, no, it's all gonna work out. It's gonna take 7 years, but it's all gonna work out, and it's gonna be great, and you're gonna be happy. And so,
I'm curious, in between your shoot job and wrestling, like what do you do for fun? I know you're a pet mom. You got some fur babies, so that's obvious. But what do you do like in between to like keep yourself occupied or relax, I guess?
um, uh, gosh, um, I it's so funny because when I got this job, I all I say every weekend is like, oh my God, like I'm so consumed with work during the week that all of a sudden it's the weekend and I need to wrestle, and I'm like, do I even know how to wrestle? Like, where am
Yeah,
I?
yeah.
What am I doing? Like, oh crap. And so, like lately, I haven't had much time to like relax. I took some PTO this week, so I've had some days. I had Wednesday, yesterday, and today off, and go back to work tomorrow morning. But um, there hasn't really been much time. But the time I do have, I'm just at the gym, or I'm at home, or trying to be a normal human and go to like Target or something. But it's there's really nothing much in having a job that kind of became full time. Uh, yeah, there's no time for nothing,
You know what? I
honestly.
I get that, my friend. I will say though, Target is dangerous for me because I go in there and I can never spend less than $150. Like I'll come in for one
Hmm.
thing, then I'm all over. I was there last
Oh
month
yeah.
and I think I spent like $200.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
bad. That's like my
Yeah.
weakness.
Yeah. No, I never. It's a rarity that I go to Target and I leave with nothing.
Yeah, that's why I try not to go a lot because it just drains my wallet.
I
Um,
know.
but I will say, since it is the season, they do have a lot of cute Halloween stuff. So
Hmm.
I wanted to end today because spooky season is my favorite season.
Yeah.
Mine starts a lot earlier than normal people's.
Eh,
But do you have any memorable or favorite Halloween trends or aspects of spooky season that you just enjoy?
oh, this sounds so sad. I feel like all of like those like good little like memories and traditions always happen like when you're like a kid and whatever, and then you kind
Yeah,
of like grow up and become an adult, and it's like, oh well, maybe I'll carve a pumpkin this year. Like, uh, but no, I I definitely love when it gets all like fall time and gets like the cooler weather and like everyone kind of like decorates, and it's just like
yeah,
it's so silly to just say it's like, oh, it's a vibe, but it's like definitely like a vibe. And all like the pumpkin, I'm a pumpkin spice girly, not like crazy, but like
yeah.
I can get down with like a good coffee or pumpkin type of treat or something. But no, it's always like a nice, has a good aura and good vibes type of season and holiday.
It definitely is. You mentioned your childhood. I feel like we all have had like some memorable or crazy costume when we were younger.
Hmm.
Did you have like a
Hmm.
memorable or favorite Halloween costume from your childhood?
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I think All I all I remember dressing up as is like something like really either like spooky or like gory. I was never like a cute like little princess. Maybe when I was
Yeah.
like a baby, but like when I was like able to like pick out my own costumes, is always like the spookiest thing ever. That's kind of funny. I don't know if we have pictures of all my spooky little Halloween costumes I was running around in when I was like 8 years old.
That's the vibe though too. Are you one who enjoys,
Yeah.
I mean, I like watching them all year round, but even more so during Halloween, like the horror and the spooky movies. Are you one who
Hmm.
enjoys those too? Okay, so I have to
Oh
ask,
yeah.
like, what would you say are maybe your top 3 to 5 horror or spooky movies?
Last night I went to the theaters and I watched that Conjuring, The Last Rites.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, loved it. I went by myself, so like it was just like me talking to myself the entire time, being all freaked out and spooked. But no, I oh my God, that was really good. Oh God, yeah, no, I wouldn't say I have like a favorite. I will watch it all the time. I do love Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
I will make sure to tune in when there's like new stuff coming for that. But no, I definitely a little spooky movie gal.
Same. Like it's all year round, but I especially love, I don't remember what channels, but like they have like the 21 days of Halloween or whatever the hell it's called. It's like
Yes.
on like Lifetime and like all of those.
Yes.
Freeform is another one, Disney Plus, like all those places. I'm really excited. There's a lot of
Yes.
horror movies coming out in the next couple of weeks that I'm looking
Yes.
forward to. But
Yeah.
kind of tying it in together, final question. If
Yes.
you could have any fictional or mythological creature be your tag team partner, what would you choose and why?
Oh God. Oh, what type of creatures are there nowadays? Oh my God. Oh my God. Um, uh, stop overthinking.
Werewolf, vampire, goblin,
Yeah.
witch, centaur. Like there's a lot.
You know what? Probably centaurs, so they can just end it. Just take care of it. Just be my muscle. Be the brute. Be the brute
Then you
force of the tag
they
team.
they would just get you the win right away. You wouldn't even have to tag
Yeah.
in, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah. Just handle it.
Well, there you go. Before we let you go, please let the listeners know where they can find you online and support you.
Yes, absolutely. My Twitter at real Sierra underscore. My Instagram is at pro wrestling underscore Sierra, I believe. I have a pro wrestling tees store. Um, yep, and those are those two socials that I use. That's all I
I
got.
I
I got
saw
rid
you
of my
got
Facebook,
some
so
I saw you got some cool enamel pins too. I don't know if those are
yes,
only in person or if we can buy those
in
online.
in person.
Okay.
All my merch except for the pro wrestling tees store.
Yeah.
All my merch, pictures and shirts and the pins will be in person.
Yeah, well, check her out if you're at Midwest All Star and also Glory Pro. Sierra pretty much posts her schedule
Mhm.
on her social media, so stay up to date with her there. Sierra, it's been a pleasure getting to catch up with you. Thank you so much for
Thank
chatting with me
you.
again.
Yes, that's so fun. Thank you.